on. Okay.
Yoo-hoo.
So, before I tell you about how I'm feeling about all of this, you three all promised me a course by the end of January. I'm here to
Zoe,
click
your connection's really bad. You keep breaking. It's like it's really distorted.
Right. Okay.
I'm joking, by the way. I'm just trying to get out of explaining it to you because you had a really serious face on. Sorry.
Oh, naughty of you. Right. So, how has it been? The process of trying to get your course ready in such a short time frame. What have you found?
Well, I've got a YouTube channel set up, so I've done something.
Amazing.
But for me, it's still the techie side of stuff that blows my brain, and yeah.
Okay. But
it's a lot of work trying to get something set up, trying to find the time to record videos and sort out stuff that you want to put with it. It's time consuming.
Yeah. Did anyone else find the same?
Yeah. It's no for me it's knowing what to put in it and how to like structure it, and then just actually finding the time then to do it.
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger than you think, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of time. And I think that's the thing, is we very often set ourselves slightly unrealistic timeframes. And without like massive urgency to get it done, it's something that can massively slip, which is why it will slip and slip and slip. So who fancies doing some co-working on Monday to get this nailed? Anyone around on Monday?
Depends what time.
Yeah, what time?
I was thinking like 9 to 11 or something like that. Would that work for any of you?
Yeah, I could do. I have another call at 11, so yeah, I could do before that.
I'm just thinking of getting some of you like
Maybe.
identifying this very specifics of what it is that you need to be doing and doing it alongside, so we've got some time put aside to actually do the things.
I mean, I've been doing the thing.
Yes.
I just haven't quite got to the actionable part.
That means you haven't been doing the thing, Angela.
I've got all the things, yeah.
No, that's planning the thing, right?
I did record. So I have a recording, but it's not been, well, to be honest, it doesn't happen overnight. And even they say it's not going to happen within, like everybody says with the podcast, it's going to happen like that.
Yeah.
It takes at least 2 weeks. You need to get everything into place. You know, how many chapters you're going to do, what are you going to do, how are you going to do it, and everything like that. A bit of what you've taught us in the sense of your avatar, who is it, who is she, you know, that type of thing. So you have to, and for me, it's like I have to start again because my avatar's changed.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, this is it. So I'm on track. I just haven't completed my goal.
Okay. So when will we be able to listen to an episode of your podcast?
2 weeks time.
2 weeks time. Okay. And how are you going to let us know, Angela, that we can listen to the episode of
in the WhatsApp group?
You're going to put it in the WhatsApp group, a link to where we can hear it. Okay. Did everyone hear that? So the date that we will be able to hear an episode of Angela's podcast is the 14th of February on Valentine's Day. As an
is it Valentine's Day?
We are going to listen to the podcast, give you beautiful feedback on it with love.
Okay, I'm putting it in my diary.
Amazing. So working backwards from that should give you some deadlines.
Okay, it's my deadline.
Okay. All righty. So Louise, yours is just the techie bit. Is yours just literally how to make it a paid thing rather than a free thing?
No, I need to actually do it. I need to do the recording, and I need to put the PDF together, and I need to figure out what I'm putting in it and the content, and then it'll be the techie bit.
Right.
But I think Yeah, because I've got my YouTube channel, so I know how to set that up in an email. So I think what I'm probably doing is, yeah, it's the paying bit and then them sending the email. But I figured out I could put the PDF and the link to my YouTube in the email to send them. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's getting them to do a payment and then it getting sent automatically without me having to be the middleman. But I think in the interim period, it might have to be me being the middleman and then emailing and saying, can I have this?
Yeah, so you could have like a template email in your emails with it all in there,
Yeah,
or like a draft, and then you can just
yes,
copy and paste it and send it if you want to
yeah,
do it manually to start with, just to get it going.
yeah.
Yeah, that's certainly one way of doing it. So you
So I
and
think
Jenny
that,
are kind of in the same boat then, in terms of it's what you want to put in it, recording the things and getting them out there, yeah?
Yeah. I actually
yeah,
am
I mean,
like,
I know it's going to be, my
yeah.
first one's going to be sort of sleep related. So I was going to ask the old Bezzy mate chat GTP for just sort of a rough outline, like I did with the hormone one, and then probably I was going to try and keep it similar layouts to my free hormone one, because then, and keep them all looking the same. So I've got that layout. It just, yeah, I
Yeah,
just need to get on and do it.
yeah, that works. What I'm going to remind you of is we often call it what we know the content is. So I might say meditations for reducing stress, but my people are not out there feeling stressed thinking what I need is a meditation. What they're looking for is the title of it to make them click on it is the problem they've got and the solution you give. So
Yeah.
3 ways to stop feeling like a stress head would be more appealing than meditations for stress, because the meditation, they're going to be, I don't need a meditation, I need a right. So it's what's the problem that they've got, and call it like that. All right, so 3 ways to stop doing a thing, or 3 things to say to people when this, or you like something that's quite small and catchy and that speaks to a very specific problem. So each course or offer that you have should solve a specific problem rather than just being content led. Now, in the well-being world, this is harder than it looks because we can solve more than one problem all of the time. So it is just thinking of a thing. And inspired by Angela, I've decided to relaunch my podcast very soon. And I've been round and round and round and round the houses of who it's for, what it is, whether it's my corporate one, whether it's my well-being one, blah, 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 blah. And ultimately, my friend said to me, like, if in the most simple terms, what is it that you help people do? And I said, I help people cheer up and calm down. He said, call it that then. So
Oh, yeah.
I've basically outlined a podcast that's called Cheer Up, Calm Down. And I don't know whether that's going to be the final name of it, but it's kind of got me over the hurdle of like, what does your podcast do? It's like, oh, it kind of says what it does on the tin, right? It helps people calm down, helps people cheer up. So I thought, well, I'm going to go with that initially. And if it doesn't take off, I can just change the name of it.
That's
You know,
awesome.
it's not the end of the world. If it doesn't work out, I can just do a different one. And I think that's the thing with a lot of how we're feeling, is because we feel like it's a big deal. What I realized over the last few years is that actually I've tried and tested lots of different offers. Some of them have floated and I've loved them. Some of them haven't and nobody's bought them, and I've just sort of retired them quietly and having nobody on them. And it doesn't really matter. Like, nobody's looking that closely, and they're just offers. Like, they don't define your whole business or what it is you're striving towards or what it is that you're doing. The trouble is, and I'm really finding this today, is that when we create offers with so much heart in them, it's heartbreaking to retire them, even though logic says and energy and capacity says it's the right thing to do. There is still a massive emotional element that we are connected with our offers, which I don't think happens in other industries anything like what it does with us. All right, so I'm going to put it out there. When you really care about people and you put your heart and soul into it, it feels more vulnerable than if you're like a business coach and they're saying, oh, 10 ways to be brilliant on Instagram. like that's not got anything near as much emotion in it. So you know, you might fall out of love with Instagram and move over to LinkedIn and it doesn't feel like a big deal at all. Whereas for us, it feels much more involved because it's like it's your heart that's gone into it. So it does feel a bit more vulnerable. So I'm just kind of sharing that because that's how I've been feeling like over the last few weeks. It's like, I really love this community. And I felt exactly the same when I closed my other membership. It's like, I absolutely love my community. And it absolutely breaks my heart to like not be running it anymore. But it's thinking about, have I actually got capacity to run it? Am I making the difference that I want to make? Like, am I serving people as well as I want to, as well as all the other stuff about have I got capacity, have I got time, is it going in the direction I want my business to, and all that stuff. So just being aware that there is heartbreak involved for us. If you put your heart into an offer, you're putting it out on the line. But I wouldn't do it any other way. So I'm not going to say, oh, in order to prevent yourself getting heartbroken, do it like this, like a, I don't know, like a other sort of person. Do it like yourself, but just be aware that when you put your heart into it, it's going to, but there might be a little bit of heartbreak for you. But I kind of feel like, and I'm going to put it out there in the vain hope that this is true, that you still like me, even though I'm not going to run the ENERGISE network anymore.
No, I can't stand you anymore.
Yeah. I might
That's
cross the
it. We're
street
done.
and
We're
see
done,
ya.
Zoe. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. Bad
You're
enough
dead to
now.
me, Zoe. You're dead to me.
I go back then, Louise.
I've still got to return your coat, so I've got to
Yeah.
see you at some point.
Like that thing when you break up with somebody, you've got to go around and deliver their CDs back.
I know. Well, I've got to give you your coats and your mats and stuff, so I'll be knocking on your door at some point. So going, here you go.
Here.
I just post them through the letterbox.
Delete from contacts, unsubscribe from email.
Yeah.
Right, we worry that that's going to happen, and then the reality is actually you like your people are your people, and they
Yeah.
care and love you. So like I think it's kind of the same, and I
Yeah.
think when you put your heart into it, that's what you get. But I mean, like for somebody that doesn't do that, like I don't know, like my window cleaner, like I could break up with my window cleaner, and I wouldn't feel anything like as bad as what I would do if I stopped following, you know, somebody that I cared about, somebody that I'd had a, you know, use their service and have a relationship with. So yeah, I think that's kind of worth just putting out there, that sometimes the offer's not quite right, or it's not quite right for the time frame, or it's not quite what you want to do. And what I realized is the well-being bit is the bit that I still want to do. So when I'm delivering workshops that are about stress reduction and the well-being bit, it's kind of, I want to be doing the well-being bit. And actually I'm probably not the most, although I'm doing it and I've got that sort of business experience that I'm like very happy to share, it's kind of, is that where I should be in the marketplace kind of thing. So although I can help you, it's kind of maybe one of those people that's a bit more businessy, might be a bit better person, but that's actually not my priority. My priority is looking at actually, how am I serving? How am I showing up? How can I do it differently? So I was feeling like I wanted more connection this year. 2024 felt really hard. Did it feel hard for some of you? I don't know, 24 felt like quite a tough year for a lot of people. And I felt like this year, I want more personal connection. So I'm going to be doing more in-person retreats and more local events and things like that. So I'm doing a 6-week program for them locally to here, Gillian. There's a charity for men's mental health called Mankind. And I'm doing like a 6-week wellbeing program for them and things like that. So I feel like I want to be standing in the room with people a bit more this year. So I think that feels a bit more what I need, and therefore that's how I want to show up this year. And it's not to say that some of my other stuff won't be online, because I do love having an online community like this, but I also feel like what I need to prioritize for my well-being is a bit more being in the room with people. So it's kind of striking that balance, I think. And I think as you're looking at your offers, it's looking at, does this serve you in the way you want it to? Because if it's feeling like a chore and it's feeling like a slog, maybe it isn't. Maybe there's a different way of packaging it, a different way of offering it, a different way of serving your people that feels less like a slog. Okay, so I just want you to sort of bear that in mind as you're thinking of this. Okay, so still some work to do on the things you promised me by the end of the month, but I'll let you off because it does take longer.
So,
yeah.
Zoe, when are you going to launch your podcast?
Oh, Angela, I'm going to miss you.
I know.
Oh, right. Okay, then. Shall I launch mine on the 14th of February when you do?
Ooh.
That doesn't give me long to promote it, though.
Competition.
No. Well, do you need to promote it?
Well, no, not really, I suppose.
Because really, you're promoting it on the day that you launch it.
Well, yeah, but now this is where that little impulsive bit of me is like, yeah, get it out soon. On the 24th, I think, of February, I'm flying out to South Africa. So that might not, and then I won't be here for 3 weeks.
That's not an excuse.
That's an excuse. Oh,
No,
Tables
No.
have turned.
no, not acceptable. So I try again.
I can't believe you lot.
It's, to be honest, it's how your well-being is more important.
Oh, now
If you feel you want to do it afterwards, that's fine.
No, Angela, no. She would not tolerate that kind of behaviour from us. So what?
Oh, she's trained us well.
Okay. Oh, bless her. Nikki's just put in the WhatsApp group, are you recording?
No, you got to be here live.
Love her, love you all. Like, yes.
It may not be shareable afterwards, though.
Exactly.
Have you? Okay. All right. So I'm gonna. Okay. Let me think about actually, rather than saying impulsively, yes, I'll launch it on that date, whether I can actually get all the tech and everything together to launch it by that date, because I've also got other things that because I'm in like a launching an offer in April kind of phase at the moment. So with being away for some of March, launching something in April is going to feel a little bit dodgy. And I've got my men's mental health group starting at the end of May, early April. So I'm not going to do everything at once, but it is coming soon. So would you listen to a podcast called Cheer Up, Calm Down?
Yeah.
Okay. Launch that then. There's some cover art and I quite enjoy doing that. So we'll see. We'll see.
But
Okay.
we have permission really to, this is the date that we think we're going to launch. And if you don't, it's okay. You
Go on,
just
Julia.
give another launch date.
But are you not procrastinating then and just delaying the inevitable? This is me, like.
The thing I want to do is make sure I'm going to create something that's sustainable, because I find even emailing my list every week quite difficult in terms of time management and getting things done.
Yeah.
So what I'm aware of is like, I think all of you know Jackie, don't you? You've met Jackie before? Yeah.
Mhm.
So Jackie puts out her podcast like regularly as clockwork every Wednesday. And I don't know if I could sustain that because of who I am and how I operate. So my intention would be to record several in a oneer and kind of schedule them in advance. But whether I would actually be able to do that, because I haven't done it yet enough to know if I could schedule 3 or 4 in advance, because I actually want mine to be very short episodes. Like I know some of the podcasts that I've listened to are kind of like 30 minutes, some kind of an hour. But I want mine to be like little short 15-minute episodes. Like I don't want to be doing long ones. So because I think I can probably then record maybe 4, maybe 6, and I want them to all be quite practical. So it's like, have I got like 150 practical activities that I can share? I want to know that I've got enough so that it's not going to feel like every week, oh my God, what do I record this week? And starting from scratch. I want to be a bit more, what's the word? Yes, strategic about it. Because I feel like that's where I need, like when I look at the, which I'm going to get you all to look at in a minute, that scorecard, like I feel like I'm good at the delivery end, but the strategic end is where I now need to slide myself up that table and start thinking about how am I going to do it a bit more sustainably? Because if starting every week thinking, right, I've got to send an email, what am I going to write in my email? That's not going to cut it anymore. I need to have like you know, a bit more of the year planned out, a bit more of knowing when there's going to be a launch, when there's going to be offers to sell, when I'm going to be focusing on different, like if I want to run a course later in the year, that kind of thing. So I want to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit less reactive. But that's because that's my priority at the moment, but it might not be yours because of where you're at. So how about that? Have you looked at your scorecards? I did put a message in the WhatsApp group to have a little look at your scorecards. Have you got the ones you did last time? And if you printed them out, if you've got them electronically somewhere. Let me just get it up on screen. Here we go. Have you all got yours from last time?
I can't find my actual card, but I've got my big life review thing that I write down. Is that similar or not?
That's similar. So do you remember the scorecard that looked like this?
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Okay.
I just can't find what I wrote down.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to have a quick look through from top to bottom, like scan it and just kind of look at where you, if you haven't got your results from last time, don't worry about it. Just think about where you are today. And we're going to start with your business owner mindset. Are you feeling like a business owner today? Are you feeling like a practitioner? And let's have a look at your numbers across the top here. So today I'm feeling like a 3. Still feel like I'm winging it a bit because I'm changing things, still changing things up.
I think I'm between a 2 and a 3.
Awesome. Okay. So what are we all going to do that's going to make us feel like we're moving up to the next one?
I think I need to block some time out to have a bit of a planning session for my little course that I want to do. Because what I ideally want to do is just have a process for it. And then once I've done one, I can then spew another one out in relation to like headaches and migraines. And then I can spew and then the process is already there. I'll just have to change the content of it and hopefully it'll be a bit easier.
Yeah. So one of the things that would be really good is as you're doing it, map out the process, like so that you've got it for next time. And what order, like, because I've done this before when I've created a course and then I've thought, oh, I need to write something else in the scorecard, like in the sales page. So I've sort of written things in the wrong order, for example. So when as you go through it, if you find a bit where you think, oh, I should have done this first, like slot it in where you needed to do it so that next time you do them in the right order, just to save you that process. And that is part of that, working on your business rather than in it. So that's really useful. And that's something for everybody as well. Yeah. For me, I think I'm looking at mine number 3, the word consistent. I was just saying to you then, I'm not as consistent as I need to be. So consistency is what I need to look at, like a marketing plan or an email plan that allows me to be consistent easily. Now, I am quite consistent in that I'm consistently bad at emailing everybody regularly. So, I'm a part way there. But yeah, thinking what's going to be the thing that's going to move you up. So Angela and Gillian, if you want to have a look at where you're at and what you need to do, maybe after the call. I'll share this again in the Dropbox link after the call. And then dream clients. So Angela, you just said you changed your client avatar. Are you happy now with the one that you have?
Yes.
Okay, so you know who your ideal client is, you know what she wants, you know what she's struggling with.
Yes,
Okay.
I have my avatar, and yes.
Fantastic. How about you, Gillian? Do you know who your dream clients are?
Yes, to a point.
To a point. Okay. Okay. Is that because you've got more than one, or have you?
Yes, but and I know what one I want to work with, but I think my problem is knowing what exactly it is they need help with.
Right. Okay. Okay.
You know,
So
because people aren't very open at sort of sharing sharing things, and even though like I've asked like 10 million times and nobody tells you what it is that they need help with to move forward. So then I'm like, right, well, I don't know what to do about this now.
okay. So there's two things here then. I would say what they might actually need is a safe place to talk about their feelings in a safe, non-judgmental place.
Yeah.
That's one thing you're offering them.
Yes.
Second thing might well be when you're in that situation, you simply don't know what you want. So they might not actually know what help they want. What they might want is someone to tell them what help would be useful. It's like with a
Yeah.
business, isn't it? You know you want to
Yeah.
set up a business, but you don't know what help you need until you're
Tell them.
in it. Yeah, you need someone to actually tell you what you need to do. So I would maybe use those, Gillian, to test them. Because I
Yeah.
think a safe place to discuss their feelings in a non-judgmental way will be helpful. And also the fact that when this loss happens, you don't know what you want or need or how to feel, and maybe that's actually what the problem is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll test that one.
Yeah. I'll try that one. Mhm.
Cool. Louise, how are you? You know about your dream clients?
Yes.
Amazing. Fabulous. Offer suite. Who's got something they could sell me today?
Mate.
Yes, lovely. Louise, can I buy something from you today?
Yeah, you could buy a 1-to-1.
Okay. Angela, can I buy something from you today?
Yes, my micro course.
Amazing. Fabulous. Where would I go to buy those things, ladies? Where will I find links?
On my podcast on Instagram.
Yes, on Instagram.
Okay. Louise, where will I find yours?
My socials and website.
Okay. Are you emailing anybody with your offers?
Yes.
Occasionally, not consistently.
So yeah, you could always have we stop reading things if they're always the same. So I have somebody at the end of all of her emails, here's 3 ways you could work with me. And then there's like the same 3 ways all of the time. Some people don't like it. I kind of do, because I know that she emails me quite regularly. And if I need one of those services, it's going to be really easy for me to either wait for her next email or find her last one and find her links. So I'm okay with it. But I think, it depends on who your audience is. So putting it as a PS or like at the end of your email, sometimes, different people will tell you different things, but I think like get it in front of as many people as you can. So if you're sending an email anyway, like remind people what they can buy from you. It's always useful. So make sure you're putting those offers where people can buy them. And like conversationally as well. I like to drop it into conversation, in like email conversation or post conversation. And then messaging. Who feels like they're spot on with their messaging?
Yeah, not far off it.
Not far off it. Okay. Angela, new dream client might need a tweak in the messaging.
Yes. It keeps changing, so that's why it needs tweaking.
Yeah. Okay. And so I would say as well with the messaging that if it keeps changing a little bit, it probably doesn't matter quite so much. Because I thought when I was looking back at my sort of key messaging, it keeps changing wildly. And then when I looked at it, I was like, it doesn't really. It's not wildly changing. It's still all about confidence. It's still about anxiety. It's still about, well-being and being able to be yourself and not wanting to be, feeling anxious all the time or, so it doesn't. although in our mind it feels like it changes a lot, it's probably more consistent than you think, because you're not wildly changing things.
Right.
So yeah, so just have a look at it, and then just from wherever you are, just start going again. It doesn't matter if you're, you know, go out there and test things. Louise, how do you feel your messaging is?
Round about the 3, I think.
Okay, yeah, more of them. Messaging is working, but you need more of them. Yeah, okay. So then so the next action then is looking how you're going to get yourself up to the next level. Fabulous. Okay, whose audience is growing? My audience has floundered lately. I've not been very good at growing. Anyone else feeling a bit like this? Yeah.
Mine's growing slowly. I mean, it's not like influx, but it's trickling.
Lovely. And where are they growing? Are they growing into your email list, or are they growing your following on socials?
A bit of both.
Oh, brilliant. Well done.
Just a small bit of both.
And so what's been really working for you, Louise?
I have no idea. Otherwise, I'd be doing that more. I don't know. I suppose I have been a bit more consistent since January, because I decided I was going to be a bit more consistent. So yes, I have been a little bit more consistent. Not much, but more than I had been. But yeah.
And are they signing up to your free thing, or are they just signing up direct?
So I've done my free thing. And others, I'm not sure kind of where they've come from, because they've just appeared.
Right, okay. Cool. So yeah, that would be worth. So one of in terms of your tasks about being a business owner, and the section above might be to look at what is working, where are they actually coming from? Maybe just getting, if they're following you, or, just maybe DM them and say, oh no, thanks for the follow, I really appreciate it. How did you come across me, kind of thing, just to get a conversation going. That might be useful, because they might have been looking for certain hashtags or search terms or something. So yeah, tuning into that would be quite good. Okay, for those of us that haven't particularly focused on audience growth, this is going to be something. This is always going to be the thing we need to look at first. Okay, getting in front of new people, so you're not wearing your same people out. So again, where do you think you're at? It's okay if you're starting at number 1, you haven't really got a strategy at all. So think about how you've all got an email list, so you're kind of not here, you're already at least at number 2. So maybe you've got 1 or 2 strategies that are working, adding new people, but not consistently. All right, not emailing your list regularly, or don't get engagement when you do email. So thinking about, are you getting the right people? Are you messaging them with the right things that they make them want to get engaged with you? So yeah. And then once you're working out what works, then it's just like turning that up. So I've noticed the one area I am growing in is my LinkedIn, because I've been more active over there, because I fell out of love with Facebook and Instagram, and I'm barely on them. So I'm quite active now on LinkedIn, and I've done a few events, and I have got a few more followers over there. What I'm noticing is, because I've been focusing on my in-person stuff this year, that's been my main focus. I've actually, when I think about it, I've been to quite a few networking events where I followed up with a few people for coffee and talked about specific offers and how I can help them. So although my email list hasn't grown by much, my in-person stuff has. So it's quite easy to forget that stuff. But like, if you're going out in the world, Angela, you'll be able to keep an eye on your podcast listener numbers once you get them. You can invite them onto your email list. You can invite them into your world, follow you on the socials. So yeah, just think about other channels as well as just that, your social media channel. We can get very sucked into thinking that's where it's all at, just social media. But yeah, okay. So growing your audiences everywhere, and then nurturing them. How good are you at nurturing your audience once you've got them into your world?
Could do better.
It's hard when the growth is small, right? Because you're like, oh, it's a lot of effort to do that for just like 1 or 2 people. But if those 1 or 2 people turned into paying clients, it would be worth it.
Yeah.
And they all might turn into paying clients if you nurture them. So although it's hard, think about something that feels easy for you. So what are the easiest ways for you to nurture? So if you like voice notes, leave people voice notes. If you like dropping people little videos, do little videos. If words are your thing, message, make sure your messaging is spot on in your emails and things. So just think about how you want to do it. And then we can only really do these two when we've got the top two sorted out, but we're going to be thinking about selling. So if you like, this is marketing, putting our stall out at the market, saying, these are my lovely offers, this is what you can buy from me. And then we've got to sell them to people. So we've got to think, am I turning people who come into my world into people who might buy something from me? And how do I know when they do that? What's the thing that makes them a lead rather than just somebody in my following? And then have you got a sales process? So I think, like for my one-to-one services, my sales process, once I get people to talk to me, is fine. But the gap is getting enough people to talk to me. So once people book discovery calls, I've got a really good conversion rate. Most people who book a discovery call will turn into a client. That's quite high. But getting people across this hurdle from nurture into booking a discovery call, that's where I'm going to be focusing on. So that's my focus for now, because I'm not getting enough leads to make all of the sales that I want. So I'm not totally booked out, but I'm nearly booked out with one-to-one because the sales process works and I don't need many. So think about like, what are your metrics? Like, what are your numbers for how many people you need to actually, you want to actually have go through that process? Because it may be, if I've got a good conversion rate here, so this is kind of how this works. If I've got a good conversion rate at the sales end, so once people get on a discovery call with me, I can convert them well. The more people I can get to come through this funnel, obviously, the more sales I'm going to make. But I don't need loads. I just need the right people, which means I can go back to this and say, well, who are the actual dream people who are booking at the moment? And for example, at the moment, I've been really busy with young people coaching. So coaching people who are anxious about school refusers, things like that. I'm not marketing to them. I'm going to be marketing to mums generally. It's not dads, it's mums. So my dream client, the mum might also be a perfect fit coaching client, but her focus at the moment might be her child. So my messaging needs to change for now. So can you see, Angela, when you're sort of thinking out that the messaging might not be bang on, it is going to change a little bit.
Yeah.
When you're selling different things, when you've got a different focus, when something is flowing out well. So my post that I might be doing like over the next couple of weeks might be about the successes I'm having with one-to-one clients. And I might also be talking to parents about one-to-one for their kids. Okay, so the messaging isn't always going to be exactly the same. And then I'm going to try and get people to come through this funnel. So I might put together something specific for, I could put something together for parents. How do you support your anxious teen? Yeah, so that might be the problem that I solve that would get people into that particular funnel. Very quickly, I'd have to make sure I nurture them through a particular sequence that's just for them. So they're not just going to get random well-being stuff immediately. And then I'll end it with an offer so they know that I could help their teenage child. And then they might just drop into my normal audience. Now, what I would expect from that is a lot of them will unsubscribe if it doesn't feel like a good fit straight away. But I have to be okay with that because that's a particular funnel that I'm putting into one specific offer. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So then I'm not going to worry too much if those people unsubscribe quite quickly. Like, because if they say to their child, I found this woman, it sounds like she can really help you. Do you want to go and talk to her? And the child says no. The conversation ends there, doesn't it? So they are going to unsubscribe, or they might, some of them might stay in the world and just, ask it again, or they might just share my content with their child so that that builds up. But I've got no control over that. I have got control over the front bit and getting that to them. Okay, so thinking again about where you've got to do the work that's going to fit you. And then I haven't filled in the bottom bit of this for this time of year because we're still in Q1. So we're a third of the way through Q1, and we all put in what our focuses for Q1 were right at the beginning. So getting new courses out was quite a big one for us for Q1, but we're only a third of the way through. So you've still got time. So your homework is going to be, I'm going to share the Dropbox link to this. I can share the Google Doc link with it as well. That'll get you to make a copy in the WhatsApp group. And I want you to have a look at your scores. Let me stop the share now. Whoop. Have a look at adding in your scores and where you're going to be working. Okay, that's going to be your homework, and you can still put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Immediately looking at that, do you all know roughly where you've got to put your effort?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So do you know what you're going to do, Gillian? You know where you're going to focus, what you're going to do?
Well, it's on audience growth as always, but yes, that's a bit of a challenge, but
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard, especially I think as well, when people are like, they're a bit overwhelmed, aren't they? And I don't know about you, but I decided to change my strategy because I was done in with Facebook and Instagram. I'm talking to different people over on LinkedIn. So because I'm talking to different people, the messaging's got to be different. So, you know, it's okay to have, it's got to be interesting enough for you to want to do it. If it feels like, oh my God, I've been doing the same thing for months and nothing's happening, then something's going to have to change. So it's either where you show up, it's how you show up, it's what you show up with. So the scorecard, I think, is just quite useful because it says, like, if that growth has been painfully slow, then something, you need to switch something up because something needs to feel better. Okay.
Yep.
So think about that. Where's that growth gonna come from? And your audience might be a slow burner, actually, Gillian, mightn't it?
Oh, it's so slow, it's ridiculous. Gee, why does a snail go quicker?
So have you got like because I still believe that your workshop was gold. I still think that workshop would be really, really good.
Yes, I have turned them into like paid lead magnets now, so just need to re-advertise them again.
Yeah.
And maybe do another one at some stage.
Yeah. And I think, where are you going to find, because putting it out on your channels is one thing, but that those people who are on your channels are already in your world. So it's how are you going to find
I need to find
people?
somewhere else.
So where are the groups? Where are the hubs of people? Where are the conferences where people might be? Like, where might people go to those sorts of events and things? And that's the thing with that growth. We're thinking, well, how can I get it in front of new people, not just on my own channels?
Yeah.
That for me, again, that was a stretch. So this year I've been upping the ante on being on other people's podcasts. So I was on a podcast for HR people this week on Tuesday. When I've been and done an event, I've posted a lot about it over on LinkedIn, which is where I'm mainly showing up at the moment, and kind of not like creepily, but like if people have liked it, I've kind of just been connecting with them and just sort of saying, oh, thanks for the like, and you know, how did you find me? Were you at the event? You know, like asking them just a couple of questions just to have a conversation. And then I know, for example, I am personally rubbish at follow-up because I see it as like, in my head, my quirky relationship with time means that it's either now or it's not now. But if it's in the past, I almost forget about it. So asking for testimonials, I've historically been really bad at. Following up with people after networking. So I go to networking, have a good conversation with somebody, and I don't follow up. So this week I went to a networking event on Wednesday evening. I got 3 people's business cards and I followed up with all of them before I went to bed. I thought, if I leave this till tomorrow, it's not going to happen. So I just sent them a connection request on LinkedIn and sent them a little message. And it was lovely to talk to you at the networking this evening. I love your idea about, I was talking to one woman about art for activism. So you should connect with her, Angela. She was really lovely. So there are, like, I've been trying to do a little bit more, just tiny things, a little bit more, so that those people will then see me. They've had a chat to me. They might recommend me. So yeah, thinking about where you're going to get those hubs of people and get new people to see you. Fantastic. Okay. Right then. What are our next steps from here, ladies? What are we going to do? Wobbly now.
Go in a corner and cry.
And the weather here is rubbish. We had thunder and lightning first thing this morning, and it kind of feels like it's like my mood, like complaining, a bit thundery. Okay, so next steps then. So the WhatsApp group I'm going to leave open so you can all carry on supporting each other in there. We're all going to be listening to Angela's podcast on the 14th of February.
And yours.
Thank you, Julian.
We're all going to subscribe to Louise's YouTube channel.
Yes.
I've already subscribed to Louise's YouTube channel. I will get a notification every time a video is dropped in there. Great. Yeah, I've got to decide whether I'm going to bring all my things under my one banner of my limited company now, or whether to keep things separate. So I've got quite a little bit of like that sort of back office working on my business, not in it stuff to do at the moment. So I might be disappearing and doing some of that. Yeah, so that we'll see what happens with that. So what else are you going to be working on for the rest of this quarter? Let's just go as far ahead as the end of this quarter. So end of the March.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
Everything.
Who knows?
It's the unknown that's going to open up to us.
I'm going to be doing all that we've discussed. Absolutely.
Yes.
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. Okay, I'm actually going to put it out there. And the main reason I was hesitant about launching the podcast is that this quarter I committed to writing my book, a book, and the first book that I'm going to write is Resilience for Women with ADHD. And I have got it all planned out in my head, and I'm going to record it while I'm in South Africa with Jackie, because I'm going to do it as I'm basically going to talk it as if I'm giving a lecture or like a workshop, and then I'm going to record it and download the transcripts, because I can't just sit and write it. I'm probably better off and faster. And so I think if I've got like 3 hours of me talking, that'll be a nice dinky sized book for people. I don't want it to be, I've realized I don't need to make it a massive big book. Like I don't need it to be huge.
Nope.
Just need to be, and also the audience is women with ADHD, right? It needs to be a short book.
Yeah.
So, very to the point, lots of practical exercises. I want them to be able to link to a PDF or find resources on my website, so they can actually find me, sign up to things, get them in my audience, talk to the people about ADHD coaching. So it's part of a funnel. It will be part of what I'm talking about. And it's like, oh, do I make my whole business about this, or is this just an offer? And for me, it feels like this is just an offer. So this is like the lead magnet. Okay, so it's going to be a paid lead magnet. It's going to generate lots of free content. So I could use any one of the little things I'm talking about free content, which I could share across my channels, sell them the book, which is quite low ticket, and talk about the coaching offer. So it's just one funnel. It's just one offer, one product. So that's the funnel that's going to be behind that. And then because I'm looking at it like that, I'm not looking at the book like it's my life's work. It's just an offer. You know, so that takes a lot of the weight off it. So that's kind of, I wanted to share that, because I think sometimes we can feel like our offers are quite heavy, like we've got to get them right, they've got to be perfect, I've got to be able to sell this thing. Feels like there's like quite a lot of effort to it. But I don't think any of us are sort of at the point where we want to tie ourselves to just one thing forever. You know, you see some people and they know what their dream offer is right from the get-go, and they go and do that, and it can feel like a little bit like you're failing if you're not doing that. But I'm not sure that's how any of you really want to run your businesses. So
Nope.
Yeah, let's make it more interesting for ourselves. Okay, so WhatsApp group's going to stay open. We're not going to have our Thursday morning meetings, even though we're having some of them on Fridays because I was working Thursdays. So yeah, but I do still want to kind of support you on your business progress. So I am going to should we do co-working Monday? I'm going to be here anyway, working. So I might just open up this Zoom room, our ENERGISE Zoom room, and you can just come in there. I might open that out to a couple of other people in my other networks, if they like, in the Wholehearted Happiness Club members it used to be, just see if anybody else wants to join us for co-working. But I think that might just be a space for everyone to just like start their week and make a plan and maybe talk about their plans, share them. And that might just be a new way of, moving forwards, so that we're still kind of connected. Because I think you can when you're working on things on your own, they can feel a little bit like they matter a bit less, or there's less urgency. Whereas I think we're invested in each other's businesses, aren't we? So
Yeah.
I think that'd be a nice thing to do. Keep making use of the WhatsApp group. Keep supporting each other. Support each other out on your channels. Support each other's. Subscribe to Louise's Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube channel. Yeah, so we're going to keep that level of support going. Yeah, and tell each other about each other's things. Okay, so when I see that you've put in posts out about offers, I will be sharing them with my world. Okay, and I think if we all do that for each other, that's a really nice thing to do. Really nice way of helping each other. So yeah, I've been doing that for a couple of people this week. So if you put a post out that's got an actual offer in, make sure you're talking about your offers. Make sure you're allowed to sell stuff. I'm just going to give you permission. All right, you're allowed to sell stuff. You're allowed to go out there in the world. It's like you're allowed to put that out there. You're allowed to make money out of what you do.
Yep.
Make some money out of what we do. Okay. Has anybody got any questions or anything they would like to add or commit to in the group?
No, just thank you, Zoe. You're awesome.
Yep.
We love you and we'll miss you.
Yes.
Yep. Thanks
Yes.
for all your support and all your help. It's been awesome.
Oh, it's actually, like I say, it's actually heartbreaking. And I'm kind of like, oh,
Don't do it then. Don't do it.
why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
We'll see you next Thursday.
If you see a message from me in the group with a panicking, oh, I've decided to change my mind.
So we're like, yes, we're there.
Privilege to have you. Thank you so much for being on the journey. I have cancelled all of your payment subscriptions, so nothing else financially will come out. And yeah, I'm sure I will keep you in the loop of whatever is happening next. And it's going to be a fun ride. I don't even know where I'm going with it yet, but something fun will happen next, I'm sure. And let me know anything that you're doing. And also, if you're stuck and you need help, just let me know. We can always like get on a call and help you out. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. Good luck.
Lots of love.
Bye.